What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Coach's Corner. I'm Coach Lyndon. This is
Amy.
And I'm Coach Devi.
And again, welcome to Coach's Corner. We are going to be covering all things that help people change their relationship with food and fitness, just because normally people get to see us and talk to us every day, but they don't get to see what we're thinking or do behind the scenes. So this is our little sneak peek into what makes GID special. All right, if you like this video, share it, and hit the subscribe button so that way you can help us reach more people. Also hit the notification button so that way when new videos come up, you're alerted. You don't have to go looking for them, they'll come right to you.
That's right.
All right, so yeah, eventful 24 hours.
Yeah.
Eventful. Sunday swings. What happened after Sunday swings? Did we all go home?
We went to the frog pond.
We went to the frog pond.
We had a pretty bomb.
Oh,
It was a bomb. That's
our
what was
friend.
fire.
Our friend.
Oh yeah, that's
It
what
really
happened.
wasn't eventful. I was like, something was
Yeah.
eventful
Yeah.
about it, like outside.
Oh
of the
God.
room.
Oh no.
Yo,
Not
was-
again.
That was
Not
fun.
again.
That was fun. All I could do was laugh. I couldn't even be mad.
Yeah.
I was like, this is
Yeah.
kind of fun. Oh God, no.
Yo, it's been episodes
like-
for this guy.
Yo, it's been him, the other dude. You weren't here that day. You were, I think August was in town.
Okay.
When I gave the other dude a hoodie because he was just like, hey,
Oh, I
around.
did see
I
that
told
video
you
out
because
the
I was
wild.
like, yo, there's Lynn's hoodie. Lyndon gave that guy a hoodie yesterday.
He's
There he
like,
is.
"What up?" He's rocking the hell
No,
out of it. He
rocking
likes it. He
It's
likes
got
it.
a message.
Yeah, that's
That's right. He's a walking billboard now.
Yeah, nothing wrong with it, man. Like, learn from it. You know, it was a cool thing. I gave it to him because he came up. It was one of those things where, like, you know, I like to, let's say, be a teacher in every aspect. Like, it's natural for me. So I'm not really trying to, but at the same time, it is happening. So when there is respect, it is easy for me to give you and do for you and want to be there for you. It is much harder when the respect isn't there. And I noticed that extremely quickly along my journey, which is why I'm so adamant about, like, when they come. So that particular friend was coming around more than once and had been asking for things, and I've given it to him when no one's here, when no one's around, but I said, hey, I need you to respect my space. So if I ask you not to come in, you can't come in. If I tell you, you know, I need you to leave because you're making people uncomfortable, I need you to do that. Oh, sir, no problem, right? And then showed up and did exactly the opposite. I think it was the same day I had that sit down talk with him. And I was like, yeah.
Oh yeah, he came when you were
Yeah,
doing
yeah, when
training.
I was
Yeah.
here.
The afternoon, right? And I'm like, so if you don't see me, the rules don't apply anymore. Okay, so now you're gonna have to see me a lot, right? And that was the interaction Sunday morning, which then led to the hilarious moment when we were going to Frog Pond, right? But it was all respect. It was just a respect thing. If he had shown respect from the beginning, I would have had nothing to say.
Right.
We even had an incident for that one, which was on Saturday's trading,
Which one?
where I had to cuss somebody out a little bit.
What did I? Oh.
You
I
forgot
was like, dang,
already?
I was like, what happened Saturday?
I was like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I wasn't there, but I was.
Yeah. That was good.
It was interesting. What'd you guys get from it? Because I know what I got from it. I taught the lesson. What did you What did you get from it? I don't talk about
Maybe some affirmation?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so.
You gotta explain a little bit.
I was.
It affirmed everything I've ever thought.
It was just some affirmation. There was a lot of head nodding on my part. I was like, yeah, you know what? That is it. It's just good to have, like, less conversations in the dark, you know?
Yeah, I think it's that conflict in open space, conflict in
Yeah.
community, and that's like the biggest thing I took
It's
from
so
it.
transformative.
Is that we even talked yesterday at breakfast a little bit about it, where it's like I feel like the normal thing to do is people to like break it up,
Yeah.
because we don't want to see like any big feelings out in the wild unless they're fucking happy, and
Right.
that's it. Like no crying, no arguing, no anger, no frustration. Like keep that shit. Do it at home later, not with the person that you're having conflict with. I think
behind their backs, essentially, for
Yeah.
no real reason. It doesn't even solve anything.
So it felt like there was space held for that. Like everybody who walked in the room was able to hold space for that.
That was probably the dopest part. Was
Yeah,
like
and
no
you know-
one feeling like they had to say anything about it.
I don't know everybody's backgrounds. Like I'm used to that. So that didn't feel weird to me. It felt actually more loving than what I'm used to. So that was nice, you know? So there's that cool part. That's just, I think the biggest thing I took away is watching that happen in space, because like that stuff happens.
Yeah.
And if we don't look at that part of relationship, on all fronts of a relationship, I think connotation of relationship is always romantic, but relationships at all
Correct.
are like, they get to those points. Like, you're gonna have conflict, you're gonna disagree, you're gonna be disappointed.
Right. How you do it matters, right?
Why steer away from that?
Yeah.
Why not lean
Fair.
into it?
I was
Because
gonna
you can
say,
strengthen through
how
that.
you have conflict matters.
Yeah.
Right? Like, respectfully, you can have conflict and not agree. But like, there was this, let's say there was an instance of, because anytime stuff like this happens, we talk about it so people kind of get the inside scoop as to why or maybe what it is. So there was this instance where they were very like, I know what I'm talking about, I know what it is. And then when it was almost it was proven that they didn't know, then they feigned ignorance, right? And when they feigned ignorance, if you were paying attention, you were like, what was that, right? Because it didn't make any sense based off of how they were standing before, how they presented themselves previously. And that's important, right? It's important to say, like, first of all, I've noticed this about conflict with a lot of people. The back out isn't necessarily a back out. It's a disavow, right? And I don't like disavows, right? Because I don't have to make you less than or be the less than myself in order for us to agree or disagree, right? So it never feels equal. And I think that's what always feels bad in conflict. When I see it normally, is that people feel really, really bad about the conflict in and of itself.
To make it a
because
power
someone
dynamic.
has to, right? Power dynamics come into play. Someone has to be above or below someone else, and it's not necessarily like that if you do it the right way. So I remember when I first started doing this. I remember I came home and I told Ash, I said, I gotta view them like my kids, man. Like, if I view them like adults, I'm gonna treat them way more rougher than I would normally, right? I was like, I gotta view them like my kids. And when I went in here, I don't know if people noticed, but my approach changed. Like, I became more gentle. I talked to you guys different. I gave multiple chances instead of cutting you down because you didn't do it in the first two. Like, it became an actual learning process for me, because as a father, I understand that mistakes are necessary, right? But like, as a man, I understand that the space you're in, it's hard. Those mistakes could literally ruin or end your life. They could end everything. So like, for me, it's like, I'd rather slap you awake as a man than lie to you, right? This instance and this individual needed a more awakening moment, right? Versus a very like nice hand, because we've done that and they've taken it as a win, right? Where no one was trying to win or lose. So this moment, like, I was very grateful to, like, people came in and they didn't even say what's going on to me. Like, it wasn't like they interrupted me to talk about it or anything. They were just like, yeah, I'm gonna get to this warm up, right? And like, we just kept going after it happened. They even stayed after it happened. Now, I don't know if it was out of stubbornness or feeling the love, which is why I approached them at the end to verify how they felt. It's like, no, it's not, we don't hate you. But again, like, let's say truth is truth, right? You can't warp the truth and not say you're warping the truth. It's okay if that's what you want to do. That's your life. It's your decision. But the truth is still the truth. And I think that was super important in that conversation. So I was excited about it.
And the truth be hard to handle sometimes.
Of course.
I
If
think-
you're always warping it, yes.
Yeah. And I think one, I wanted to return to what you were saying about people liking the big expressions of like happiness and gratitude and like the good emotions, but the big expressions
Good
of
emotions.
the good emotions.
I was just thinking,
Get those air quotes out, because that's some bullshit.
I thought
You thought you're like, yeah, you put enough salt on it.
The good emotions.
The good one.
You know what I'm talking about. But those bad emotions, like, people stay away from. You know, they do want to like nip it in the bud. Like, oh, you guys are arguing? Oh, I can't be in. I can't. You know. But I think what's important about conflict in community that I'm realizing is that there's doors.
Furry visitor at 3, 2,
1.
Wait, she's waiting.
Release the hounds.
There she is.
Oh yeah,
What's
we're on.
up?
Oh yeah.
We just knew she was coming. We all took a break. You might as well release her.
Yeah.
Kids,
Come on.
how the hell are you?
We got someone new.
We got a small person in here, aka an animal. Animals and small people are the same to me.
So I was saying it feels like there's doors closed to deepness in relationship that require you to work through those negative emotions. They require you to be in conflict like that so that you can better understand each other and go like pass through the door.
Like actually go deep.
Yeah, actually
Not
go
just
deep.
be like,
yeah, it'll be
I'll look through the
surface.
peephole of this door.
Right.
And I think it's like walking through the door together is like how I'm looking at it. I think a lot of people look at conflict like it's me versus you, but I'm like, nah. It's,
Like you're standing on two opposing sides of the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's more like, nah, we're on the same side of the door. We're trying to walk together deeper into this relationship. Like,
Understanding, connection. Yeah.
And it's like, if we don't walk to it together, then like, if we don't even address that the door is there, I think that's what it is. It's like,
What's crazy to me is like, okay, so let's say conflict is standing on one side or the other of the door, right? First facts to the acting like there's no door, as you literally have the door closed.
Right.
Right? That's like, yes. But even more so, and the one I see more often, is acting like the door is only a problem for the other person. Right? Like there's like the door only exists on their side, not on yours. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See, it's not usually like a disavowing of the entire door. It's usually like let's say the door is I don't want to be too controversial. Let's say the door is something as simple as your belief on how squats are supposed to look, right? So like we're having a conversation about what the best squat form is. And then in the middle of the conversation, I go, well, I don't really have a problem with what it can be whatever, but you are the one that seems to have it be this way. That's me saying that the door doesn't exist for me and it does exist for you. And that becomes harder. Now, first of all, I've offended you because I've acted like I have no problem.
Yeah.
Second, and way more important to me, is you have now created a power struggle, right? In a conversation that could have been very working together, right? Like you're right, I'm wrong. That is what happened in that conversation. It was the power dynamic thing. And ironically, they're so used to playing that game, they didn't even hear themselves do it. I think it was very unintentional.
Okay.
I won't say there wasn't a little maliciousness to it, because I felt that. I felt that poke the bear, see what happens moment, right? And I think most people do respond in anger, right? Like if someone tells you there's no door, you open it and you hit them in the face with it and you're like, see,
There's the door.
right? Right? And it's not necessarily the right thing to do, but it also does make it so you know there's a door, right?
It's like,
Oh my God.
Oh,
That was it. Was that
Damn,
a, was
that
that
is
a,
a door.
is that cedar wood? Like that's what
that is a door.
Strong door. It's oak.
So what makes it more fun is when you open up the door and then you go to the other side and say, tell me there's no door. Right? Like, no, show me there's no door. So now you're seeing from the same side. And if they reach through, they're going to touch door because it's there.
That's a good analogy, because you got to walk to the other side.
Right, because you do
in
have
order
to
for
walk to
them-
the other
yeah.
side, right? This is where humility, meekness, let's say caring for another human being comes into play, right? And in that conversation, if you notice, I said, one of us is out of character. I said, now I want you to look around, because my voice is raised. I'm not this like raw, don't know this is happening. I said, my voice is raised, but I want you to look around and how no one is correcting me. I said, now, when you were saying what you were saying, I said people were kind of uncomfortable, you were getting kind of isolated. I said, you could tell you felt some type of way. But I don't feel no type of way at all, and neither does anyone else in the room about what I'm saying. I was like, that's important, and I hope they caught that. I hope they heard me say, because I came to their side and I said, show me there's no door, right? They couldn't, because when you change the truth, you are standing on a foundation that isn't very stable at all, right? Because again, it's all subjective to whatever subjectivity you have. That doesn't work well, right? Which is why we had started that conversation. I want to continue it here because I think it's going to be helpful for a lot of different people when we go friends versus associates. Is there a difference, and why?
I believe absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
I think I know there's a difference because been a time in my life where I had it fucked up, and I've had people in my life that I was calling friends or I was in that position with that was false, you know? And when it came to light where we actually stood, I was like, damn, I knew that. Like, damn, of course. You know, like, I felt better having someone around.
Than being by yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just having you around.
It really is that. It's like sacral chakra blockage type shit.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't know. There's definitely a difference. Associates feels like you can make an associate just by like walking the streets, you know? But like if you don't know deeply about that person, and you don't have to know very deep, but you do have to spend time with that person, see them in different lights, see them in different in negative situations, positive situations, see them with friends, see them with family. Like that's how you really get to know someone, is by like spending time having conversations, seeing them in different lights, seeing their heart, you know, as opposed to what they forward present with at first when they meet someone.
I think that's true.
Mutual bond. That I actually asked Google what the definition of friendship was.
Google wouldn't
It was
pull up.
actually this morning too. I was making some eggs. It was on my
You
mind.
knew the topic.
I guess I did. I got the memo.
Universe.
So I did ask, and I don't really remember much of it, so I did a great job. But like a mutual bond, right?
Yeah.
That's like kind of the thing that I do remember that phrase in there.
Yeah.
And I do think the same as Deb. I also had a lot of friends at one point that were really just associates, and I think what really started to clear that out for me was the pandemic. That was like a lot of those associates dropped off because it became very much
Survivalist.
who's important to me, right?
Yeah.
If I am like not supposed to see people, and I was living alone during that time. I was also doing a lot of healing. I had just come back from Africa.
Okay.
So I was in like the start of like a really huge growth kind of arc for me.
Got it.
And then I felt like I had another round with the healing that was like, wow, a lot of people are gone. When I realized what I was receiving from my relationships.
Okay, yeah.
I
There you
think
go.
I am a great
That's it.
I'm a really great associate. Like I'm giving way too much as an associate, or I have historically, and that's where it was like
I'm giving my all.
people are like, yeah, let me just get a little bit more of that, and we're friends, we're best friends, and I miss seeing you, and I'm like, yo, I don't miss seeing you.
Right.
I feel bad. I'm not gonna say that because that feels shitty, but I've been working around how to respond to that when I don't feel the same, right? Because that is a hard
Say
one.
it like that now.
I
don't miss you.
I get it easy. they'd be like, yeah, man, I really miss hanging out with you, man. I'd be like, yeah, man, I miss whatever space we hung out at.
I wouldn't even say miss. I'm like, yo, yeah, it's been a long time. I think that's what I'll do is like, yeah, it's been a while. It's been a really long time since I've seen you.
That works too.
That's usually
great.
like, I'll just come back with a fact.
Yeah, but that's exactly how I handle it, right? Man,
It's usually over text.
You were my homie, man. We used to hang all the time. Yeah, man, it was crazy on Frost Street. Like it's not wrong.
Respond with
It's
a
not
fact.
wrong,
That's what I'm
right?
saying.
And then if they're really deep thinking, they'll ask you.
Yeah.
Well, why didn't you didn't really say nothing about missing me? Like you just said you missed where we was at. And see, then I have to give you the truth. But most people, they're so
deeper answer.
shallow on the surface
That'll
with
suffice.
it. They don't
That'll
care.
suffice.
Which is why we're associates.
that'll
in the
suffice
first
for a lot of
place.
shit.
So
That's what I was about
it's
to
like,
say.
Exactly.
you know,
Will
they're
take that answer and be
gonna
like, all
float
right,
away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, dang, he did respond. He loved me. And that's it. That's all they need. And it's okay, right? So I actually agree. I have not looked up the definition on Google, but
We should look up the definition of associates.
beneficial.
now.
I don't
Let's
actually have
go.
my phone.
Right, yeah, go Deb.
Beneficial relationship on both sides actually is friendship. It's reciprocity.
Yeah.
I was just about to
so.
say.
Yeah.
Right. It is reciprocity.
Yeah.
You're not a friend if you're not reciprocal. Right. Like that's just the thing. And for the record, it doesn't mean evil or even give. It just means exchange.
Yeah.
So as long as there's exchange,
Right.
it can feel really good to be that person's
Yeah,
friend, right? And way more important to me is it does ebb and flow. So sometimes you need me way more than I need you, And then other times I might need you way more than you need me.
Because there's support.
Right. That's why as long as there's reciprocity, it feels great.
Yeah,
Right? But
agree.
when you get those people come in, all they do is take, and then they're just like, yep. You're in a deficit? Damn,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Wow. When's the next time I can take from you, though? Can we get that on the book?
Yeah,
Because I'm real itching to
when you
take.
don't have your cup overflowing again.
Yeah, right. Like,
Damn, you seem kind of depressed. 2 months? Call you in 2 months?
Yeah.
Like, that's the type
Let me know
of,
when
they
you're
don't
done with that.
They don't say it like that, but they definitely hint at you may not hear from me often.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily hateful, especially if they
Yeah.
never presented themselves as much more than that before. So when a person misunderstands the relationship you're trying to build, you always have to look at yourself and see how much what you're putting out there first. Then you can address
Yeah.
the other
I think
person.
that's important. Like, I didn't start realizing the difference between friends and associates, so I started working on my self-worth. And then I was like, oh yeah, then reciprocity comes up. Like,
Well, you don't even you need reciprocity
Exactly.
until you understand what you bring to the relationship,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So like if you don't understand, like let's say we can use me and Amy as an example, right? Like you two have your own relationship and I have my relationship with Amy, but I also have a relationship with you. So when dynamics changed, I wanted to still keep the friendship, but I didn't want you to feel like I was overstepping you. So like I'm your boss and this is my friend, and I want to talk about my other friend to help my friend. You get what I'm saying? And if you're doing that, it can feel crappy to be honest, because it may feel like you're talking about that person, right? So the level of the friendship makes it easier or more difficult,
Yeah.
right? So like we've had talks about you and how to help you and some of the things I'm stuck on, and sometimes there's no answer, right? Like it's not like Amy has to give me a solution. Sometimes it's just being able to say the thing. So I get a chance to like sit with it and realize like, okay, is it wrong? Is it right? Am I on the right path? And if you got good people in your life, they direct you to your truth, right? Like your truth could be their answer, but it may not be. Maybe there's nothing for them to say. Maybe you already know. A good friend is going to see that you're just soundboarding off of them,
Working through
right?
some
Like,
shit.
because they're paying attention to you,
Right.
right? And that is to know you. I can't pay attention to a person I don't know. I can only look and listen. I can't pay attention to what I don't see as a signal unless I'm using like general or broad terms, right? So using us as an example, when we have had conversations, we've come up with solutions like for the space. Not you specifically, but for like people in here, or we've had a conversation about other situations, and it allowed for us to bridge that gap in a way that we both walked away and got something from it. Like that's why we're good friends, right? We can be good friends because I feel you're there for me based off of this. Like I've definitely come in, and I'm not always nice about how I say stuff about people, right? When I feel like I can be that honest, we're probably friends, right? Like keeping it real. Like if I could just be like, yeah, I don't like that motherfucker, da, 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 da. If I could say like that, we probably are good friends, right? Because I'm not worried about where it's going. I'm not worried
Offending
about you taking
Right.
it and trying to hurt me with whatever it is. And maybe I am irrationally upset, but I'd like to feel safe enough to be irrationally
Yeah.
upset,
Facts.
right? That's important.
Yeah.
Right? So and those friendships are the friendships that do exponentially grow. Because
Like,
now you
super
do.
important for y'all though.
Yeah.
Like-
Wait, what?
For a black man to have a space
Yeah,
to be
that's what I'm
irrationally
saying.
angry and feel safe
Yeah,
about it, like
because-
that's
because
the most
that's
important.
The blanket emotion we learn, and we don't really learn about our other ones until later.
Yeah.
So like to learn that is hell yeah. Somebody's
unlock
got to sit there and let
yeah.
you process, right? Like I want to be mad, but I'm not sure why I'm mad. I'm just mad.
I want to punch that mother.
Yeah, yeah, that's the first thing that comes to your head, right? And then learning that that's not really the emotion. Yeah, somebody's got to let you process, right? I have been fortunate enough to be married to someone who gave me space to process, right? And that led me to see how I wanted to have other relationships too, right? Every relationship affects your others. You can't say it doesn't. So if you have associates,
Every relationship
they're great for
affects
knowledge.
others.
They're great for knowledge, but but they're not great for wisdom, in my opinion. Like your friendships are great wise spaces. Even if they're not that wise, the wisdom is in the space they hold or the reflections they give. You don't even have to be that smart. I've literally had a friend be like, yeah, man, sometimes you just got to turn that shit upside down. And I'm like, that is the dumbest, smart advice I've ever heard, right? Because when they said turn it upside down, I realized I was looking at it the wrong way. So it made me look at it different, right? Because I respect them enough to hear
the message.
The thing that's actually right. You get what I'm saying? It's different. So to me, they are not similar at all, except for I am in communion with another person. What you got?
Friendship.
How many of us have?
Oh,
A
bond
friend.
of mutual affection.
A
That's
person who one knows and with, why did I write it like that? And with whom one has a bond of mutual affection. Typically exclusive, or
Exclusive of sexual or family
family
relations,
relations,
Okay. Got it.
All right, I like that. And then I've got associate pull up here.
Ass Oshie.
Great.
As associate. Not that first one. That's the verb. A partner or colleague in business or at work.
I think
Not that one.
maybe the
Ah,
second
I was gonna
might
say,
be
keep
better.
going.
A person with limited or subordinate membership of an organization.
No,
Nah,
that's
not
not
that one
good.
either.
You need a better word.
Is there more?
That's all it.
That's all I
it.
got.
Is that it? I mean, the business one does make sense. It doesn't even have to be like your job.
So this is a broader term. This one,
yeah. Well, associates is someone who's closely connected to another person as a companion, friend, or business partner. But see, that's not really closely
not it.
connected,
Yeah.
right? Like
Exactly.
that's if you're closely connected to me as
Yeah.
a business partner, are you really closely connected
Yeah.
to me? That's associate is one of those terms like people get away from
like
probably
an
because
umbrella
it's so
term.
big.
It's become like very business oriented,
Yeah.
I think, and that's
Yeah.
probably why people don't use it. I think that's why
Yeah.
friend it's become a blanket term, and then it feels bad to be like tell somebody you
Yeah.
feel like you're 5 years old. You're not my friend,
Yeah.
But like I think it feels bad to say it, and that's why.
That's
but
fair.
maybe
It's
we
kind
don't
of a
have
boundary
better.
set.
Well, we
too.
could say friends and like for me, I say friends and the homies, or friends and those I love, right? Like as a different way to express. There's levels to
that's
how
what
I
I'm-
care for
it's the
them.
levels thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like
Acquaintance.
associate is like anyone I hold company with, right? And then like friendship is a level like above that. I feel like
Yeah, a couple levels in my opinion. Because in order for you to get access, like let's say I'm an onion. I got layers. So if you peel back things, you find out different things about
An
me.
ogre.
I'm very honest, but there are parts of my life that I don't bring up because of the scars that they carry, and I don't want to put that on people who aren't prepared for it. So I don't always share those deep truths. Like today, the truth I shared, right? When I was like, oh yeah, I've given Ashley a black eye, and everybody was like, I said, let me give it context. There was a fight going on. I blacked out. There was a whole thing that happened, right? There was a very visceral moment where things were done to me, where my reaction was to black out, and that was the response. That was the reaction. And when I say that, I normally say it viscerally enough to gather attention, to teach a lesson. But in this one, even that felt bad for me. I was like, yeah. Like,
I think
it's a
that
hard
was
thing to say.
transformative though. Like, I think it was important because I think I saw it click with Kay. You know, like maybe you didn't hear it because you were trying to like do the next exercise.
Yeah.
But Kay was like, "That's why you're the lead. That's why." You're
Oh no,
the
I
leader."
heard. Yeah.
And I was like,
that's why you're
it's
the
very
leader.
true. Being able to share, because we all have moments like that where it's like, I can explain where my head was at. I can explain why I did what I did. I also don't like that I wasn't strong enough or wasn't built up enough to not act like that. But to be able to share, like people don't share those stories normally in open space because they still have some shame around it. And to see you share it, even if there was shame behind it, to share it in open spaces does give people permission.
Yeah, it's a blemish on the record. That is the way most people view me as like this perfect husband, right? Like people view me as the epitome of fatherhood and relationship, and I'm just like, I'm still very, very human, right? And I didn't get here by being perfect the whole time, right? Which is the misconception. I made plenty of mistakes along the way, and that's why I share that story. Normally I share the one where Ashley made a mistake, but for some reason that one didn't feel right to share it that way. It's again similar stuff, right? Because I'm not really an aggressor like that, right? I can be, but I haven't. I'm not normally. It's normally a chain reaction to something else. I'm more of a defender than an aggressor. And that has led to a couple misunderstandings in my life, right? So I normally share like, well, this happened, and then here's what I did. This time it felt like I was supposed to share no, this is what I did. Here's what happened. So it's like the art of storytelling at that point, right? What are people going to receive? And again, do they understand the difference between depth and being shallow? The fact that I am going deep and I don't even know you is because I do teach. And I think that for the person that I had the disagreement with becomes where they misunderstand what's in front of them. Because they're like, well, he always talks like that. Yeah, I do, right? But that doesn't mean I want to be close to you or I'm trying to be your super friend, right? All it means is that I'm doing what I feel like I'm called to do. And then you get the benefit of that thing. But again, that doesn't mean I'm looking to be close to you per se. It just means that I'm looking to create connection, right? They don't have to be the same thing, and they don't have to. They're not even mutually exclusive.
Right.
Yeah. So like, I was excited about it. I forgot about the little instance this morning, just because. Yeah. Shame shouldn't stop you from becoming who you want to be.
Sharing the truth too.
Yeah, from being honest. Yeah, for sure. Like, I actually had to look at it from a different stance. I had to look at it as it was selfish not to tell the other person the truth.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you don't, you don't know what you're cutting from them when you're not speaking truthfully.
Yeah.
Right? You don't know what you're taking. You're literally taking their opportunity and their agency to make a change. So I try not to do that. Right? That's my natural nature, is to like make the choice because of my life and the things I've experienced. But to love someone is to love in spite of yourself. Right? So even though I want to make the choice and I know this choice is better, I know I'd get there quicker. I got to step back and make the other choice, which is going to cause us to get there a little bit slower. But we can go so much further that way, right? That was what I started looking at, the benefit of going together, going forward together. And that's what kind of started helping me do that. So that's what
I want to bring up one more topic. For
Sure.
Randy.
All right.
Let's talk about the feeling of defeat.
The feeling of the feet.
Of defeat.
Oh, hey, yo. I was like, Duffy? All right, got
Defeat.
it.
Debate.
Talking about them
Yeah,
toes.
mine have been hurting a little
Talking
bit.
about them
you know,
toes.
lately. They hurt less this morning.
Oh, yeah?
My
Like a
feet.
Tarsally?
Yeah. Tarsally.
Defeat felt defeating.
I'm smelling defeat in the air.
There's definitely a lot of, I don't know if this is what you was going for, but there's definitely a lot of defeat happening. Right? Like a setup for a comeback. I like to think of it like that, right?
Like season of change.
Something's dying so you can get something new. And for a lot of people, especially based on perspective, that feels like defeat.
Yes.
Right? I'm on this diet. Like, we went out, we ate, and I was like, okay, let me get strict with it, right? Just because I do want to honor the thing. But I already had mentioned how like I was going to hybrid it. I told that person that, and I felt convicted on Sunday, right? So I said, okay, I'm going to take it easy this Sunday. And then after Sunday, I'm in, right? And I went home, I ate that meal, I didn't do it again. Like the rest of the time, all the way till now. Most interesting part for me was the moments of defeat happen when I'm not moving intentionally for me.